If you aren't already in my Discord server, what are you doing? It's got some of the best alpha in all of crypto inside, full of people of all experiences, old, young, and everything in between. And the best part, it's completely free. So, tier lists. Been wanting to do this for months, but it takes a lot of time to plan, of which I didn't have due to job constraints, but slowly I've managed to piece it together. I spent some time deciphering how best to rank these coins. Initially, I was going to base it purely off of returns, as I believe that's what the majority of my audience cares about. But I think that's unfair, as there are some great projects out there which may not come with the flashy 100x tag, but will still make you good money and at a safer level. Therefore, it will be sorted by risk return combined with my own gut instinct. You may be thinking, why layer 1s? In November 2021, touted as the peak for altcoins, there were over 40 layer 1s making up the top 100, almost half. The demand is evidently there, except this time around there's newer projects with better tech looking to take the place of some previous giants. Starting off with Ethereum, naturally can't ignore this one. After Bitcoin, probably the safest place to invest your money in all of crypto. Been around for years and will continue to be around for years. Not much to say about it, to be honest. We know all about ETH. Obviously, we have had some massive news this year with the ETH ETF being approved for many different investment managers. This will bring in more demand, more capital inflows, and we can expect to see a much higher price than now. People will be targeting $10,000 per ETH, which is definitely attainable. This goes into A tier, as whilst it's providing minimal risk, the return is still decent at maybe 2-3x from current prices. Aleph Zero is one of the more painful investments I made. From a fundamental perspective, everything looked good. It was fast, scalable, secure, it was decentralized, it had privacy enhancing tech with ZK rollups, it was an enterprise ready solution, potentially growing ecosystem. This one literally had all of the ingredients to succeed, but the chart is horrific. Sentiment is horrific, holders are losing hope, I've seen that there's OGs exiting. I'm very pessimistic on an A0 revival. It's not impossible, however, if they can market, bring out a partnership, do something, then it could really rally up. But I cannot ignore the technical analysis. For that reason, it is a C tier investment. Not quite a void, as there's still a slim chance, but it's a big bet. I'm struggling to see the catalyst for Polkadot this cycle round. Will it increase from this point? Probably. Will it perform as well as other older blue chips? I can't see it happening. DOT was a great hold last cycle and it did very well. I'm concerned whether those who bought at the high points have sold all of their bags yet, or whether they're waiting for the price to increase to then dump, which obviously will be a problem. Something to be mindful of, which may not be common knowledge, is how the DOT team was spending some of their funds. There's a lot of questionable stuff going on here, but $5 million went to influencers. We got a list here on the left and there was a lot of shilling going on with DOT. I wouldn't have thought an established crypto would still need to pay for shilling, so that's a talking point. Also, some of the influencers mentioned here on the list aren't exactly the most credible, so again, place against them. For this reason, I would place DOT in C. Yes, the risk is low, but reward compared to other layer 1s in this space ain't there. Kaspa goes straight into S tier for me. This will potentially be the strongest performing, not just layer 1, but altcoin in general. A trilemma solving blockchain utilizing BlockDAG and GhostDAG tech. It's very fast, it's very cheap compared with the layer 1s of old, and it's got bullish updates on the way, smart contracts, its KRC20 chain is launching soon too, and most importantly, it's got an absolute cult-like community following. There's so much information out there on Kas, you'd be living under a rock if you hadn't heard of it. Kaspa has already been on a monumental run so far. The reason it's S tier is due to it already being a top 25 coin, so the risk element is reduced significantly, but there's plenty of upside still, 5 to 10x, potentially even more. And that's just for this cycle. There's nothing stopping Kaspa becoming a top 5 crypto in the future, and if that is the case, and you end up hodling this whole time, you'll make serious money, so a great choice for any portfolio. The first high risk low cap of the video is Octa. I mentioned this one a couple videos back, but this project takes many different narratives and sub-narratives within crypto. We got AI, we got deepin, GPU, compute, file storage, render. This one is very, very active. At only 65 million market cap, there's definitely a lot of upside potential with Octa, and the tokenomics aren't bad either. The team is doxed and they're supposedly going to be pushing marketing very, very soon. One issue with Octa is down to the exchanges or partnerships. There's a lack here and I'm not too sure whether that's in the pipeline or not. It would be nice to begin to see, BitGet, KuCoin, even Binance, etc. to start rolling, because right now it isn't that accessible to customers. Another issue I have, and this may be me digging a little, but there's a chance that it ends up being a jack of all trades, master of none. We've got a lot going on here and it's transferable across many sectors, but it could be a double-edged sword if it doesn't provide anything of value or gets left behind by competitors who are better at each niche. I'll say Octa is a B tier. There's still higher risk with this one, but there's plenty of reward if it all goes well too. Going back to one of the last cycle's winners, we have Cardano. I was invested in ADA last cycle and made decent money. However, this time around, I'm going to put it in the avoid category. Yes, ADA reached $95 billion in market cap last cycle. Currently sitting at around 15 billion, there's no guarantee it will reach previous highs again. I see people make that argument all the time, but there's a trend of new coins outperforming old coins in each cycle. Newer, better technology, shiny coin effect, heavier marketing, etc. There's many reasons. If you were to select a blue chip project, I don't see why you would choose ADA over Ethereum or Kaspa or something else. You aren't taking much risk with this one, but I can't see you getting a high return this time around. Also, just an observation, I have no evidence actually to back this, but I've rarely seen ADA mentioned this cycle. I know there's a huge base there and Charles has a significant following, but when compared to the likes of Kaspa or Ethereum, I don't see ADA mentioned much at all. This is a game of probabilities, remember. Do you really want to roll the dice with Cardano? Moving on to Debie, look, we're playing narratives here. It's a game of narratives, and the ESG narrative will be big in the future. Companies will be forced to comply with regulations, and I believed initially Debie would have an edge in that regard. 8 million TPS also was a huge standout feature. It had been in development for years, it was a new project on the block, cheap transactions, docs team, the works. But token unlocks have almost killed this project. I expected volatility, but nothing this depressing. I mean, look at this chart. For that reason, it's an avoid for Debie. I hold some of this and even I'm saying avoid it. I will only give 100% transparency. I'm one of the few guys in this space you can trust to be honest. So yeah, made a loss on this one. Try and avoid. It may not be dead, but the risk is way too high in hope of a recovery and your money is better off elsewhere. Solana could end up being the blue chip play of this cycle. Plenty of noise going on in this ecosystem. It's got the community, the tech, the appeal to retail with cheap fees, fast transactions, and quite crucially, we got memes. Memes have been going absolutely crazy on Solana in the last few months, and to be honest, it will probably be the leading ecosystem for memes this cycle. If we do swing back around to NFTs or gaming, Sol is poised to be a market leader. We got a couple managers officially filing for a Solana ETF, and it's looking the most likely after Bitcoin and Ethereum. If successful, it will bring in huge demand and capital injections, and then we can really see this one fly. This one's A tier, as similar to Ethereum, you're taking relatively low risk for a decent reward. I'm not sure if it can provide high multiples from this position, but a solid pick nonetheless. Spacemesh has been disappointing for me. A layer 1 protocol with a strong team behind it, including ex-devs from Ethereum. They use a unique proof of space-time consensus, and their slogan is literally the people's coin, essentially trying to create the most decentralized layer 1 by allowing anyone with a computer and spare storage to mine, earn, and contribute to the network. SMH ticks many boxes and has been backed by huge venture capitals such as Coinbase, Paradigm, and Polychain, raising $18 million almost 6 years ago. So on one side, you could say this one is destined to succeed. However, there is a massive dilution problem here, which was brought to my attention by a member in my community. There will be vesting combined with minor emissions until January 2025, which amounts to around a 100% dilution in the supply. On top of this, the VCs and early investors were entering at extremely low prices, allegedly between 10 and 50 cents, so once they get their supply, there could be further dumps taking place. We've seen the negative chart for Spacemesh. With further dilution on top of this, we could very well drop comfortably below $1. For this reason, it's a B tier investment. Over the long term, this may not be an issue, but we have to wait to see what plays out for Spacemesh. I haven't got much to say on BNB. I don't think this will go parabolic like it did last cycle from its current position. CZ or CZ if you're British was a big reason for this project doing so well last cycle, and he's no longer CEO. We're also only 20% off its all-time high, which can be viewed two different ways. One, it's held up well in tough market conditions and shows signs of a strong project. Or two, we've hit a ceiling for BNB, which could prove tough to break through as we've seen in the past. Combine that with the scrutiny that Binance has faced or is facing from regulators, I'm not sure how high it can go this cycle. The ecosystem is still doing well though, still very cheap, very quick, and very appealing for developers. Memes could be an interesting play to monitor on this one. There are also quarterly burns which have been taking place for a while. Reducing the supply over the long term should push price up. Question is by how much? A hypothetical to consider is if CZ manages to make a surprise comeback that could pump up the price considerably. But all things considered, it's a B for BNB. Injective is an interesting one. This project is a layer 1 blockchain for DeFi and it's got some huge backers including Binance, Pantera, Jump Capital, and even Mark Cuban. Massive ecosystem catered for everyone, whether it's devs, partners, institutes. Tokenomics at a glance are decent and it's got all the big exchanges ticked off, so it's open to a huge amount of potential investors. Fundamentally, this is one of the strongest projects in crypto for me. Whether the DeFi narrative performs as well as AI or RWA is a talking point though, and could be something which prevents serious returns from this stage. Injective is A tier for me. I think the only thing missing is a proper marketing push. Whether that's in the works right now or not, I'm not too sure, but it wouldn't surprise me to start seeing adverts or more partnerships coming in over the next 12 months. Near is a very solid project in this space and has been around since the previous cycle. It comes with the AI tagline this time around, although I'm not too sure how AI this really is, but once you get that tag in crypto to retail, that's all you'll need. They'll see AI and they will pump. Technically, Near holds its own very well on these dips we've had in the market compared with other AI coins, which is a sign of a very strong fundamental project. Also, not many are aware of this, but Near raised an astronomical $600 million worth in funding, raising $500 million only a couple years ago. In addition to this, Grayscale have allocated around 32% of their AI fund to Near, which is very bullish for the future. The tokenomics are also decent, majority of the tokens are in circulation, so future dumps may be avoided. Near is a borderline S or A tier coin for me purely because the market cap is still relatively high at 6 billion, and I'm uncertain on what sort of multiples this one can provide. With the addition into Grayscale's fund, all things go well, 10x from this position is not out of the question for Near, and so I guess it sneaks into S tier for me. Realio Network is another low cap on this list. This is one of my favorite projects in crypto and I believe it will still provide excellent returns from its current position. The real world assets narrative is going to be massive, one of the few sectors which will fly in crypto, and you have huge corporations like BlackRock sniffing around in this sector. Rio is a layer 1 RWA blockchain allowing the tokenization of assets amongst many other features, and it's been in development since 2018. They also have Realio Fund as a DeFi component and Districts as a metaverse type play as well. Some issues I have with Rio include the lack of tier 1 exchanges thus far, and also with the team, communication isn't the best, and I've seen members act out and be pretty controversial on Twitter, so yeah, that ain't a great look. The tokenomics are top 55 million in current supply to reach 75 million max over 38 years. It's a low market cap. This doesn't have the shiny coin effect as it was around last cycle, but this time around RWA is a lot stronger and this could easily reach over $10, especially if we get some more partnerships going with massive real world companies. Therefore, Rio goes into low A tier for me. I'll be completely honest, Avalanche is not an ecosystem which I have looked extensively into. I've more so kept a side eye on the chain, and I'm tempted to kind of group this with the previous older layer 1s. There could well be a lot of older bag holders waiting to dump the token as we rise, so something to be wary of. However, it is an incumbent project in the market, so it most likely will increase, but I cannot imagine anything spectacular. I'm going to caveat that with a potential catalyst, however. Gaming was/is touted to be a big pull and attraction to AVAX. We've seen the gaming narrative perform very poorly in recent months, almost lifeless. If gaming makes a comeback, AVAX could be seen as one of the top blockchains for gamers. If that is the case, it could find new highs. For this reason, I'm thinking AVAX is a low B tier investment. Next we have Zealous, the lowest market cap coin on this list, one which draws comparisons to Kaspa due to its block DAG technology. This utilizes homomorphic encryption in order to keep transactions private, and it's another trilemma solving blockchain. Very early stages on this one, extreme high risk high reward given its low price and market cap. They have smart contracts on the way which is huge, but given its absolutely tiny market cap of only 6 million, combined with a few question marks around the team, there could be a lot of volatility. Keep an eye on their token dilution as well in 12 months time. Due diligence as always with these projects, but I'll put this one right in the middle, as if it does go well, huge money could be made, potentially upwards of 25 to 50x. We'll end on a controversial one in Qubic. This is a very unique layer 1 utilizing proof of use for work and has a huge AI component to it. Feeless transactions, 40 million TPS, the fastest I believe in crypto, smart contracts, oracles, and on top of all of this they have Agarth, looking to create the truly decentralized artificial intelligence. This doesn't come without its drawbacks, however, led by CFB, the mind behind IOTA and NXT. Whilst many sing his praises, there are also a lot who criticize and doubt him. The chart for Qubic doesn't look great, and the tokenomics, which in my opinion when broken down are good, but when retail come and see 1,000 trillion supply, it could put investors off. However, this could be cancelled out when they see lots of zeros and feel they can buy a large supply / potentially see it going to $1. You laugh, but this is genuinely how people think. So all in all, I put Qubic in S tier. The reasoning is, yes, it's risky. However, it's taking the most important narrative in AI, combining it with layer 1. Given CFB, a fair launch, 40 million TPS and all of their crazy features, for the risk you're taking, you could be looking at a 10 to 100x coin here, and it may well be the best risk return coin in all of crypto currently. I know the Kaspa and Qubic maxis will hate being placed on the same level as each other, but that's the video guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if you wish to see more. Please like, comment and subscribe. Remember to join the free community Discord, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.